All right, this is the angle addition statements section here. Very similar to the segment stuff from the previous section. We're just looking to write a statement expressing the relationship between these different angles. So we've got an angle here. I'll write what that one is. That's angle MLA. In another color, we've got an angle here. That is angle BLM. And together, those angles make up this larger angle, which we're going to call BLA. So we're naming those angles. I'll let you kind of see the color coding there. And then we're just doing the mathematical part. In this case, the mathematical part says that when I add these two measures, I can find the total of the yellow angle BLA, and that's going to be 168 degrees on that one. Similar idea in the second one. I'm just doing this red angle, which is ADB. And then I'm doing this blue angle, in this case BDC. So you notice I'm just naming the angles as their relationship is expressed. ADC is the whole thing here. And so that's the relationship. Then I simply add, because that's what the relationship says to do, that I can add the two parts. So that's going to be 84 degrees. So notice you need to be able to do both parts. You need to be able to do the statement, and you need to be able to calculate the answer. And the statement is always just the three angles listed as they are related. Small angle plus small angle equals large angle. All right, in this last section, you've kind of got two main things you're doing. In the first four problems up here, you're just writing a single angle, one angle that fits into those categories based on what you see. Something that needs to be noted is that this is a right angle, and that should be marked in your diagram already for you. It's not on my screen, but it will be for you. So that's a right angle. I'm actually going to erase that and do that in black so it's not confusing everything else that we're doing. So this is a right angle. There we go. Now, looking at the rest of this, we need to name one of each of these types of angles, and then we need to name some pairs of angles listed below. Notice, you need to know what these things mean. I can't say it enough. You need to study these terms. You need to study what they mean. You need to know what an acute, obtuse, right, and straight angle are, and you need to know what a pair of complementary, vertical, adjacent, supplementary, and linear pair. You have notes that have those things. Make flashcards. Do whatever you need to do because you will need to know what they are and be able to identify them in the diagram. I'm just going to mark this up briefly and give an answer for each. Acute. For acute angles, here are acute angles that I see in the diagram. We have one here, we have one here, we have one here, and we have one here. All the red angles marked are acute angles. So for instance, this angle here would be angle ABG. You need to name your angles with 3 letters and with that angle symbol. That is what your answer should look like for the first 4 questions. An angle, one angle that you're naming. Oops. Let me fix this real quick. Okay, looking at the next one, it is an obtuse angle. Well, obtuse angles would be this one, and even this one. It goes all the way across here. Any of those 3 would be good answers for obtuse. I'm just going to pick one. I'll do GBC. That's this angle right here. Angle GBC would be an example of an obtuse angle. So that's the kind of thing that we're looking for that one. All right, next. Let's talk about right. We already know what right angle we have. We have this one right here. We also have technically a right angle there as well, but let's go with the easy one, and we could do DBC. That's the name of that angle right there. Now finally, straight angle. For straight angles, you can literally name any 3 points that are in a straight line. So this would be a straight angle technically, but any 3 points in a straight line can work for a straight angle. It could be this one, it could be this one, it could be this one, any of those. So let's just focus on this one going diagonally. That would be angle GBF. That is the angle that goes all the way around here, and it fills the whole side of that line. That is a straight angle. All right, so beyond straight angles, now we need to look at these pairs. I'm actually going to start at the bottom of the page and talk about these last three together. There's a reason for this. When we learned this, we talked about the fact that a linear pair looks like this. You have a straight line and a ray coming off. When you have that, you need to look at that diagram above and find an example of the thing that you see here on the screen in purple. That is what a linear pair looks like. So when you're doing this, that's what you need to be looking for. So I see multiple examples, but one obvious example would be right here. Going through here, coming off this way. The angles that I'm looking at when I do that are going to be this angle right here. I'll call that angle 1, and this angle right here, we'll call that angle 2. Those are the angles that you need to name. So for linear pair, I can name the following pair of angles. Angle GBA, that's angle 1 right here, and angle GBC, that's that angle right here, angle 2. So angle 1 and angle 2 are the two I'm naming. That's the listing there. Here's the great thing about that. Once you write an answer for a linear pair, you should immediately copy that answer for both adjacent and supplementary, because those are always contained within the answer for linear pair. All linear pairs are both supplementary and adjacent. All right, let me erase some of my work over here so I have more space for my other ones. Now that checks off all three of these. Looking at complementary and vertical are the last two that we need to look at. Complementary is going to be anytime you have, I'm going to draw an arrow over here, anytime you have a right angle with a ray coming off of it. And we're going to be naming the two angles that make that up. That is right here in the diagram. So this right here is what we're looking at. So we're going to name the angles in that corner over there. Those are angle DCE and angle ECH. Those would be my complementary angle pair right there. I'm going to do a little bit of erasing of the purple stuff because we're going to return to that corner over there. And let's talk about vertical. So vertical angle, kind of draw an arrow over here, is anytime you have an X in the diagram where two lines intersect, it's the angles that are across from each other. So this would be a vertical angle related to that. And let me grab another color. This would be a vertical angle connected to that. So either of those pairs could be the answer that we put for vertical angles. So specifically using the teal as our example, we would do GBA and angle CBF. That would be the second one there, and this is the first one there. GBA and CBF, name those two angles that are opposite each other. Looking at the bottom of the screen, it says here ABG is equal to 47 degrees. Let's write that on the screen, 47. What you need to know is that if that's 47, then so is angle CBF or FBC, which is the answer to that problem because vertical angles are always congruent to one another. The second part of this says that angle ECD is 23 degrees. That's this one right here, 23. That we know that that angle adds up to make 90 degrees with this angle right here. And so that angle right there, I'll put a question mark, is going to be 90 minus 23, which is 67 degrees, and that's going to be the answer for the other part of that problem, which is 67 degrees. That's pretty much it. You really need to spend time studying all these terms. You need to go over this and make sure you know what to do when you sit down to the test. You won't be able to ask questions, so you need to know going in that you feel confident doing all the things that you need to do on the review.